Hi, good morning. So welcome to Core Strength Yoga. I've got some rather frisky puppers this morning, so please, if you're not in the mood for listening to nonsense, then this might not be the right day for this practice for you. This is attempt number 3 for this video. I did it once and forgot to press record. I did it a second time and had dog attacks throughout, attacking each other in a very loud and distracting way. So we're going for attempt number 3, where I will be stopping for nothing. And I think that's a really nice attitude to take for a core strength practice. I will not be bowed down by my mental limitations, because your mind always stops before your body. And yeah, we will get through this together. So the point of this class was to start working towards preparation towards headstand. That was a posture I found really difficult to get to, and core strength is such a big part of it. So even if you're not working towards headstand, this is still a really nice practice to really get strength through the abdominals, which will help support the lower back and to improve the balance work. So when you're ready, we're going to start lying down. So if you'd like to roll down onto your mat, you're going to keep the knees bent, bring the feet as wide as the mat, and allow the knees to fold in to rest upon each other, or possibly upon a dog if one has chosen to sit there with you. Arms come out long by the sides, shoulders roll up, back and down. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Then on the exhale, allow your eyes to gently close or your gaze to soften. And I'd like you to draw your attention to your breath. Take a long, smooth inhale through the nose. An equally long, smooth exhale back out. And again, starting to notice the natural rise and fall of the body with the breath. And then begin to exaggerate that movement. On the inhale, let the belly swell up so it's a balloon filling with air. On the exhale, draw the belly button in and up towards the spine. And feel that engagement through the muscles in the abdomen. Again. Inhale, feel all 4 sides of the torso swell outwards as the lungs fill with air. Then exhale to draw the navel towards the spine. Feel that core engagement, as if you're about to brace to laugh. That's the point we normally start barking. I stopped for it. Okay, so when I talk about core engagement through the class, that's what I'm talking about today. It's that exhale, drawing the navel in and upwards, that bracing to laugh sensation through the muscles in your stomach. And I'd like you to stick with that breath as you start to scan through the body from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Just take a moment to check in with how you're feeling today. Notice your mental state, your physical state, any little niggles, aches or pains, areas of comfort and of ease. Take a moment to set yourself an intention for your practice. Whether that's to focus on working in time with your breath, if it's to work outside the box, find a little bit more movement than usual, find what feels right to you, to your body, if it's to really strengthen through the core, if it's to possibly even feel proud of yourself for how much stronger your core is than mine, because that could very well happen at some point in today's practice. But just set yourself one little intention, something to get you through today's class. Then take one last breath here. Then exhale to allow the eyes to gently open. And we're just going to warm up through the joints in the body. We're going to start with the upper body. You're going to inhale to sweep the hands up to rest on the ground above the head. Then you exhale to bend the elbows, trying to keep them close to the ground as you draw them down towards the waist, and let the hands follow behind to the hips. So it's an inhale to sweep upwards, Then exhale to trace the elbows to the waist and the hands to the hips. Just starting to warm up through the shoulders, arms, and the upper body. You're trying to keep your arms as closely towards the ground as you can throughout here. Okay, last time. Okay, from here you're going to walk your feet hip distance apart, and you're going to lengthen your legs flat to the ground. We're going to come to a bird dog next. So you're going to sweep the arms up above the head, so you're stretched out from the fingertips to the toes. You're going to inhale to lengthen through the body, then you're going to exhale to lift your right knee and your left hand, bring the knee above hip and hand above shoulder. You exhale to release, inhale to lengthen, exhale to lift opposite knee, opposite hand. Inhale at the top, exhale to release, inhale to lengthen, exhale, bird dog. Then you can just move in time with your own breath here, lifting one hand and one knee, then repeating on the opposite side. You're trying to keep the rest of the body completely still as you move, and we're just starting to warm up through some of those deeper core muscles here. Next time, when you come to the top, with that bent knee, you're going to extend the foot, kicking the heel up towards the ceiling. Bend that knee and extend back to the ground. And again, opposite side. At the top, extending heel towards ceiling, bending the knee, and replacing down. And we've got twice more on each side. You're just starting to warm up through the hamstrings as well. Okay, when you've finished that one, then you're going to walk your feet back in towards your hips. You're going to bring the arms out long in line with the shoulders, and you're going to lift your left knee to a reverse tabletop position. You're going to keep your right foot flat on the ground, and you're going to engage your core, drawing the navel towards the spine, and you're going to use that core strength to try and keep the rest of the body completely still as you circle that left knee. Staring at your right knee is a good way to monitor how still your body is staying. So you're just going to start to move that left knee in some small circles, using your core strength to keep the rest of the body as still as you can. Then you gradually make those circles bigger and bigger, moving smoothly, slowly, and with control. Then when you've made the circle as big as you can, you'll reverse the direction and circle back the opposite way. And gradually make those circles smaller and smaller, until you get back to those tiny little circles at the top. Then you're going to replace that foot down and repeat with the right knee lifted. So again, really focus on engaging through the core to keep the body still as you start to circle that right knee. And again, just pay attention to your left knee as you start to make those circles bigger and bigger, The stiller you can keep your left knee, the more engaged your core is here. And the circles are getting bigger and bigger until you've reached your widest point, and you reverse the circle and go back again in the opposite direction. And then gradually make that circle smaller and smaller. Until you get back to those tiny little circles at the top. Then replace that foot down. And from here you're going to roll over onto the right hand side and push yourself up, coming round to all fours to a tabletop position. You'll have your knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders and the back in a long straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Actively pushing up and away from the earth through the palms of the hands, back to the feet and the shins. Sorry, hiccup. From here we're going to find our cat and cow. You're going to inhale to drop the belly and lift the chest, taking the gaze straight ahead. And exhale to round out, drawing the navel to the spine, spine to the ceiling, lowering the crown of the head towards the floor. Again, inhale. Feel that stretch through the front body as you lift through the heart space. Exhale, feeling that stretch through the spine. And you can just move in time with your own breath here. As we start to warm up through the spine. And once more in each direction. And from here we come to that tabletop position with the neutral spine, that flat back. You're going to curl the toes under, walk the hands in towards the knees, lift the knees, then walk the hands up the legs, slowly come to standing, bring your head up last. And from here we're going to move to our sun salutations, just to warm up through the body before we get started into our static postures. So we can start at the front of our mat in Tadasana or mountain pose. Just a tiny one to puppy behind you, isn't it? You're going to have the feet hip distance apart. You're going to engage through the legs by drawing the heels and the big toes together without moving the feet. You're going to lift your kneecaps up, pulling them up the thighs, into that engagement through the legs. You're going to engage through the core. You're going to roll the shoulders up, back and down, and squeeze the shoulder blades down and together, opening the palms towards the front. The chin stays parallel to the floor. You're going to inhale to pull the crown of the head to the ceiling and reach the fingertips upwards. On the exhale, lowering it down. Take a generous bend in the knees this first time as you come to easy Uttanasana or forward fold, allowing the crown of the head to hang down towards the mat. We inhale to slide the hands halfway up the shins, coming to a halfway flat back position in a long straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And we exhale to release back down to our forward fold. Bend your knees generously enough to get your hands flat to the ground here. Then inhale to step the right and the left foot back and come to a 3/4 plank position in a long straight line from the crown of the head to the knees, palms pushing up and away from the earth, enough that you feel a slight rounding out through the shoulders. On the next out breath, we keep the elbows tucked in tight to the sides as we slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Then we inhale to lift the chest and shoulders, keeping a generous bend in the elbows this first time as we come to baby cobra. We exhale to release and inhale to push up to our 3/4 plank position. Then we exhale to step right foot to right hand. If it doesn't step in all the way by itself, and you can always step it in as far as is comfortable and lift it in with your hand. And we'll find our low lunge, finding some heaviness through the hips, drawing hips towards that front heel, feeling that stretch into the hip flexor. You've got the option to hold here, or if you'd like to take a twist, take the balance into the left fingers. As you inhale to reach the right fingers towards the ceiling, following them with your gaze. And just reach as high as is comfortable for you here. Exhale to release. Inhale to walk the fingertips backwards, straightening the front leg, pulling the toes towards the torso in half splits. We exhale to our low lunge and twist to the opposite side, inhaling to lift the left fingertips and exhaling to release. Next inhale steps us back to our 3/4 plank position, and you've got the option to stay here working on your knees. If you'd like to work harder, curl the toes under and come to a full plank in a long straight line from the crown of the head down to the heels. If you're in a full plank, you can shift your weight forwards, so you're pushing forwards onto your tiptoes, which you can't see because there's a puppy in the way. Then exhale to slowly lower. Again, elbows stay tucked in tight to the sides. You're going as slowly as you can. We inhale to lift through the heart, either keeping that generous bend in the elbows or straightening out to the full expression of Cobra. And we exhale to release. We inhale to push back to our full or 3/4 plank. And we exhale to step left foot to left hand. Dropping the back knee, we find a low lunge on the opposite side. If you're twisting, we inhale to lift the left fingertips. And exhale to release. Inhale to walk the fingertips backwards, straightening the front leg, pulling the toes in, half splits. We exhale to low lunge. We inhale to lift the right fingertips. And exhale to release. Next inhale steps us back to whichever version of plank you're working with today. And we exhale, send the hips up, back and down as we find our first downward facing dog. So you can pedal the feet out here if you want to release tension through the calves. But eventually find stillness with the hands about shoulder width, the feet about hip distance apart, and the weight balanced equally between the two. You're trying to find a straight line from your wrists to your hips. If you need to bend the knees to do that, that's absolutely fine. We inhale to walk the hands in towards the feet, and exhale to find our forward fold. You can come back to that generous bend in the knees, or you can keep the legs straight to be like a deeper stretch into the hamstrings. We inhale to find the halfway lift, sliding the hands halfway up the shins, or if you can maintain a straight back with that position, you can leave the fingertips on the ground. We exhale to release to our forward fold. Then we inhale to send the hands wide as we come all the way to standing. Hands meet overhead in prayer. Slide down the midline to the heart as we walk back to the front of the mat for a second round. Okay, again, we inhale to extend, reaching up even higher this time. Exhale, forward fold. We inhale to find the halfway lift of your choice. We exhale to fold. Next inhale, we step back to the full or the 3/4 plank. Then again, if you're in a full plank, shifting the weight forwards, we exhale to slowly lower. And if you want to work harder, you can have a little hover an inch above the earth. Eventually, releasing all the way down. We inhale to lift to the baby or the full cobra. We exhale to release. Next inhale pushes us back to your version of plank. And we exhale to step right foot to right hand. And you've got the option to drop that back knee again if you need to here. If you'd like to work hard, you can keep that knee lifted and the leg long and straight out behind you. If you're doing that, I'd like you to try and squeeze the inner thighs together to find a bit of balance and stability through the legs. We inhale to lift the right fingertips. We exhale to release. We drop the back knee and inhale to half splits. And we exhale, low lunge. We inhale to lift the left fingertips. We exhale to release. And the next inhale steps us back to the full or three-quarter plank. Shifting the weight forwards from full plank, we exhale, slowly lower. And again, you can add that chaturanga, that hover above the earth, eventually releasing all the way down. Inhaling to lift to your baby or your full cobra. Exhaling to release. We inhale to push back to your plank position. And exhale to step left foot to the left hand. And again, you can keep that back knee lifted or lowered as suits you. We inhale to lift the left fingertips. We exhale to release. Dropping the back knee, we inhale to half splits. We exhale, low lunge. And inhale, right fingertips lift. We exhale to release. And the next in-breath steps us back to our plank. The next out-breath sends the hips up, back and down. Downward facing dog. From here we inhale to walk the hands in, to meet the feet. And we exhale to deepen our forward fold, encouraging the crown of the head towards the feet, the chest towards the thighs. I hit the cupboard door with my butt. She thinks there's an intruder. We inhale to find the halfway lift of your choice. We exhale, forward fold. Next inhale, send the hands wide as we come all the way to standing. Hands meet overhead in prayer. And slide down the midline to the heart. Sorry, puppy. Quite reactive to noise, you probably noticed. Okay, so grab a quick drink if you need it. I'm having a very warm day here today, so there will be ample opportunities to drink water. I'm going to get moving into, well, we'll get started with our static postures. Okay, so we're going to start with an albatross pose here. So we'll be strengthening through the core and through the shoulders as our main focus in this pose. We're also working into the legs. There's not an awful lot of leg work in today's practice, so I thought I'd get a little something in there at least. So you can start from a chair position. So you can either have your feet hip distance apart or flush together. If you're flush together, you're slightly more off balance, so you're working your core a little harder. You're a bit more stabilised with your hip distance apart. So find what's working for you today. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale to pull the crown of the head to the ceiling. And exhale to sit the hips back and down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. And next time we stay down. Level 1's with a lighter bend. Level 2 sinking deeper. And once you've found your position, I'd like you to try and curl your tailbone under and tilt your pelvis slightly upwards. Get a long, smooth line through the lower back. And you can stay here with the hands on the hips, with the option to bring the arms out wide and squeeze the shoulder blades in together here. Or from the same position, you can fold forwards, and you're going to hover the torso just above the thighs. You're going to keep your core engaged. You're going to push actively up and away from the ground through the soles of your feet. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades down and together. Each inhale, I want you to focus on lifting the backs of your wrists towards the ceiling. Each exhale, trying to drop the hips a little lower. And squeezing the shoulder blades down and together. You're going to keep your core engaged. That's going to help you to keep that balance here, hovering just above the thighs. And you keep your eyes down to the ground. to protect your lower back. Okay, take one last breath. Inhale, straighten up, release the arms, take a little shoulder roll, shake out any tension that's built up through the legs. Okay, from here we're going to come to a balance position, to Virabhadrasana 3 or Warrior 3. So you start by taking your balance into your right foot. Begin to lift the toes and spread them out, placing them down, and balancing the weight equally through all four corners of the foot. Bring your hands to your hips and slide your left toes backwards. And option 1, you can hold here. If you do struggle with balance work, you can always be within hand distance of a wall to hold on to as well with your hands, if you want to come a little further. Option 2, you're going to tilt the torso forwards as you lift the back heel, and you're trying to find a long straight line from the crown of the head to the heel in any kind of a lifted position here. And you've got the option to hold here. You're going to flex the foot and point the toes down to the mat to keep your hips squared. Or you can tilt further still. You're trying to bring the entire back of the body parallel to the ceiling. And again, you can hold here with the hands on the hips. You can extend the arms behind you like wings, or you can extend the arms above your head. I've got a wall in the way, so I will not be doing that today. With the palms facing in together. If you're struggling for balance, finding a fixed spot on the ground to stare at and engaging through the core can help. Each inhale, you're trying to lengthen from the crown of the head to the back heel. Each exhale, you're trying to lift through the inner thigh of the left leg towards the ceiling. You're trying to maintain that parallel between the back of the body and the ceiling. Exhale to gracefully release. Then we come straight in to the opposite side. Taking your balance into your left foot this time, again lifting the toes, spreading them out. Weight balanced equally through all four corners of that foot. Again, option 1, back toes stay down. Option 2, lifting up. And option 3, tilting forwards into the full position. And again, hands on hips, extended behind like wings, or extending above the shoulders with the palms facing in together. Again, each inhale, lengthening from the crown of the head to the back heel. Back foot stays flexed, toes pointing down to keep square through the hips. Each exhale, trying to lift through the inner thigh, the back leg, trying to maintain that parallel line between the back body and the ceiling. Take one last breath. And exhale to gracefully, as you can, release. My dog started snoring as well now. From here, you're going to step out wide. And you want to come wide enough that you feel a light pull on the inner thighs. And you've got both toes and your torso facing directly forwards. You're going to bring your hands to the hips and inhale to pull the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. You're going to slide your hands around to the back of your thighs and slide the hands down and pause just above the backs of your knees. So you're going to come to a flat back position in a long straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. We're just going to hold here for a beat. We're strengthening the core whilst we're holding here. We're also letting the hamstrings ease up a little bit before we come any further. You're going to try and lift your hips, keeping them parallel with your heels and pulling up towards the ceiling. And you've got the option to hold here. Option 2, slide down to the calves. Option 3, you've got to the calves, your hands might be able to come to the ground. You can walk them around and hold here. And if you want more, if you're quite flexible through the legs, you can walk the heels of the hands backwards until they come in line with the heels of the feet. And you can lower the crown of the head towards the mat. So again, you're trying to lift through the hips, you're pushing up and away from the mat, through your soles of your feet, through the palms of the hands if they're down. And this is a really nice little practice towards headstand. You're not lifting into a headstand here, but you're getting your body used to being in the inversion, with your head lower down, your hips in the air. You also get your lovely stretch into the inner thigh, into the hamstring. Take one last breath. Then if your hands are walked back, you're going to walk them back underneath your shoulders. You're going to bring the hands back to the calves and then slowly roll all the way back up, standing. From here, you're going to heel toe together and just take a little bounce through the knees to release any tension that's built up in the legs. Okay, grab a quick drink if you need it, and we're going to make our way down to the mat. Okay, here's where the juicy bits start to come in. So we're going to start with a plank, with an option to do it one-legged. So it's going to be a hover plank, so we're starting to build up some strength into the upper arms, get used to having our arms in that triangular position in preparation for a headstand. So you're going to measure out your arms to be hip distance apart. To do that, you take hold of the upper arms with the hands and then your elbows with shoulder distance apart. So you're going to lower down your elbows to the mat and they'll be directly under your shoulders here. Then you're going to bring the hands together. You're going to make a fist of one hand and wrap the other hand around it. You made a little triangle shape there through your elbows and wrists. Then you've got the option to work in a 3/4 plank. So you can be in a long straight line from the crown of the head down to the heels, and you're actively pushing up and away from the mat, from the knees, the shins, and the elbows and the wrists. Or you can curl the toes under and come to a full plank in a long straight line from the crown of the head to the heels. You're spiking your heels to the wall behind you and pulling the crown of the head towards the wall in front of you here. Final option is to lift one leg. And if you're doing this, I want you to really focus on keeping the hips squared towards the mat. You can always flex that lifted foot and point the toes down towards the mat to help you do that. You're trying to keep the core engaged, keep the rest of the body completely still. And here the focus is on drawing the weight towards the upper body. So you start to really focus on using your core strength to hold your body weight. And if you've lifted one foot, go ahead and replace that and repeat on the other side. Really keep that focus on not twisting around when you've lifted that foot. Okay, take one last breath. And exhale to release. And drop down to your knees for a moment. Bring your hands under your shoulders. And from here we exhale to send the hips up, back and down. And we find our downward facing dog. Hi Freddie. Fred likes to come and see me in a downward dog. Hey, don't you boy. Okay, so you can pedal the feet out here if you want to release tension in the calves. You can kiss your doggy when he's come to say hello. And eventually, you're going to find stillness with the hands about shoulder width apart, feet about hip distance, weight balanced equally between the two. And again, you can bend your knees if you need to find that straight line from the wrists to the hips. And again, you're actively pushing up and away from the mat, through the hands and through the feet. And you've got the option just to hold here in a downward facing dog, or you've got the option to take a one-legged dog. If you're doing that, you're going to walk the feet together until they're pulled up close in and touching. Then you're going to take your weight into the right foot and inhale to lift your left toes. And you're going to flex the foot and point the toes down towards the mat. This means you won't get as high a lift with that back leg, but your hips will stay squared to the mat. You're trying to keep the weight balanced equally between your hands and your back foot. Trying to lift that back heel. And again, we're focusing on strengthening through the arms and the shoulders and through the core. Again, if you've got one leg lifted, you're going to release that down, placing it back down and repeat on the other side. And again, as you've lifted, flexing the foot, pointing the toes down, keeping that squaring sensation through the hips. Okay, take one last breath. And exhale to release that foot down. And from here we're going to bend the knees and slowly and gently lower down to the ground. From here you're going to roll over onto your back. So we've got like a little bit of moving option here. So we're going to come to a lying bound angle. Quiet please. A lying bound angle with an option to curl or to pulse in that. We're moving with breath, moving really mindfully. Yoga's all about movement with breath. So I'm totally down with keeping a little curl or a pulse in there. So you're going to bring the feet down, you're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fold out wide. Then you can adjust how close or how far away your heels are from your hips. If it's more comfortable for you, you can slide them further away or you can draw them further in. And again, you can walk your body down towards your heels if that's easier for you and that feels more comfortable to you. And you've got the option just to hold here, just getting stretch through the inner thighs. If you want to deepen it, you can always bring the hands to the inner thighs and gently add a little weight, encouraging the knees closer to the ground. You also have the option, be quiet. You also have the option to bring your fingers to your temples and curl upwards, keeping a generous space between chin and chest. And you can hold here, you can lift and lower, exhaling as you lift and inhaling as you lower, or you can hold at the top and pulse. And again, use your breath as you're pulsing, a little out breath each time you lift higher up. You're trying to lift as high as you can here. Bring your elbows out as wide as you can. Maintain that generous space between chin and chest. And each exhale, really focus on that core engagement. Hi. Okay, we're pulsing at the top, we've got 5 more. And slowly lower down. Draw your knees in towards your chest and hug them in nice and tight. Just give yourself a generous cuddle here. Oh, Freddie, I love you too, but it's not the time. It's not the time, baby, for kisses. Hey, sit in your bed. Ready? Sit in your bed. Okay, from here, you're going to replace your feet back down on the ground. You're going to be about hip distance apart and close in to your glutes. And we've got a core strength builder coming up next. So you're going to bring your hands to your thighs, and then you're going to press your hands against your thighs and your thighs against your hands with equal force. So nothing's moving, you're just pressing as hard as you can, thigh to hand and hand to thigh. And you can stay here. You can do the same thing in a reverse tabletop position, or again you can do the same thing, curled up, keeping that generous space between chin and chest. This one, it looks like nothing, but you get quite a burn. Because again, you get to choose how much effort you're putting in here. You're choosing how much force you're using, hand to thigh and thigh to hand. And that force generates how much core strength you're using. So you're maintaining that generous space between chin and chest. Really focus on your breath here. The breath will get you through. Three more breaths. One last breath. And release your shoulders, hug the knees in. And then from here you're going to slide the hands up the back of the thighs until your hands are behind the knees. You're going to hug the thighs in towards your chest here. You can rock from side to side, find a little bit of, freedom to do what feels good here. Get a little self-massage on your mat. Okay, from here we're going to roll like a ball. So option 1 is to keep the hands behind the thighs, and then when some of your legs pulling up will pull your body with it. So you're going to inhale, squeeze the knees into the chest, and exhale, push your knees forwards, and roll up to a seated position. Quiet please. Inhale to roll back, exhale to roll up. So this is option 1 here. Option 2, when you get to the top, rather than sitting down, you're going to hold in an easy boat position. Trying to bring the shins parallel to the ceiling, holding the back of the hands, and finding some length between the crown of the head and the hips, with a slight lean back. So inhale to roll, exhale to half boat. Option 3, you can do the same thing, but hands free. So you're going to use your breath, the exhale, engaging the core to find that roll upwards. Okay, one last time. And then this time we're going to hold at the top in the boat position. So just take a second to set yourself up here. Quiet please, Win. So you can be holding on from the backs of the thighs, shins parallel to the ceiling. You're finding a V shape from shoulder to hip, hip to knee. Begin to lift through the heart space, squeeze the shoulder blades down and together. And you can maintain that hold here. You can do the same thing, hands free. You can do the same thing with the legs straight. And again, you can be hands free or not in that option there. Begin to refocus on squeezing shoulder blades down together, lifting the heart towards that crease between wall and ceiling. If you're trying to build strength in the lower belly, having the legs extended is a really nice option. And don't forget, your body will give up later than your mind will. Your mind will tell you you can't do it. Your body can last longer, I promise. And again, you can have the knees bent, you can be holding on here. You're really focusing on that straight line, that sharp V of the body. Quiet. You might be focusing on how annoying my dogs are. I certainly am. Okay, we've got one last breath. If you can, for that last breath, extend the arms above the head as well. Then hug the knees in, roll down. And then really hug those knees into the chest. You can squeeze the knees together and take hold of your hands and roll the knees around into some small circles. Just releasing the lower back on the mat below. Quiet. Then reverse the direction of those circles. Okay, from here, can you just be quiet please? From here we're going to come to a bicycle position hold. So you're going to bring one knee above the hip to a reverse tabletop position. And then the other leg you're going to extend out long and you're going to point the toes towards that crease between wall and ceiling. And option one is to stay here, then you're going to swap legs halfway through. Option two is to curl up, lifting the shoulders away from the mat in that crunch position, generous space between chin and chest. Option three, your elbow to opposite knee. If you want to work harder, you can bring this straight leg lower. Again, core stays engaged, generous space between chin and chest. Be quiet. It's going to be a miracle if I don't end up cancelling out the sound from this and dubbing it over. Okay, change your legs. You can come to me for protection, Freddie. Okay, exhale to release. Roll down, hug the knees in. You're being a really naughty girl, young lady. You're becoming kissing me. No, it's naughty. Okay. Oh, Fred. I know, I did protect you. I did. Just win. Just be quiet. Honestly, this is like the hardest video I've ever taught. I'm like 3 times in. It's just getting crazy. I don't understand why the dogs hate it so much either. Okay, we're going to come to a one-legged bridge next. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet down, really close up to your hips and about hip distance apart. You're going to bring the arms loose by the sides. Then you're going to start to curl up. You're going to lift the tailbone, the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back, curling up one vertebra at a time until you come to a long straight line from your knees to your shoulders.
You've got the option to stay here. If you want to work harder, you can bring the hands to rest on the hips. That little added weight will make it harder for you. You've got the option. If you're doing that, I want you to focus on keeping the heels, knees and hips all in a straight line as well, not let the knees fold in or out. If you want to take the one-legged version, you're going to walk the feet and the knees together. And you're going to take your balance into your right foot as you extend the left toes towards the ceiling. So if you can, you're going to keep the toes pointed and sticking straight up towards the ceiling. There's an option to bend the knee here if you need to as well though. Okay, you've got a leg lifted, you're going to bend the knee, replace it back down. You're going to bring it flush back with the foot and repeat on the other side, lifting the right toes up towards the ceiling. So you try really hard to focus on keeping the hips squared here. So your hips are lifted equally. You're not rolling over to one side or to the other. Okay, take one last breath. Bend that knee. Gracefully release. And roll down. And hug the knees in here. Okay. Next step, we've got a reclined eagle. So you're going to walk the feet out until you get to a shallow bend through the knees. Then you're going to cross your left thigh over your right thigh. Then you're going to press the outside edge of your left foot towards your right calf. Or if you're quite flexible and mobile through the legs, you can curl the toes underneath your calf. And from here, you're going to lift the knees up above the hips. You're going to flex your right foot and point the toes up towards the ceiling. If you've got the option to stay here, you can bring the arms in as well, bringing the arms up above the shoulders, crossing left upper arm over right upper arm, bending at the elbows. Then you can either try to draw the forearms together, bring the backs of the palms towards each other, or you can bring palm to palm and draw the thumbs around to face towards your nose. And you're going to lift your elbows so they're at shoulder height. You've got the option again to hold here, or you can bring more core work into it, exhaling to curl up, drawing your nose towards your knees and hold at the top here. Again, generous space between chin and chest. You okay there, Win? Okay, release your shoulders down, unravel your arms, unravel your legs, and repeat on the other side. So we cross right thigh over left, and again you can press the outer edge of the right foot into your left calf, or curl the toes underneath the calf, and lift the knees up above the hips, flexing the left foot, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. If your arms are coming in, extended above the shoulders, cross right upper arm over left, bend at the elbows, And then either try to draw the backs of the hands towards each other or bring palms together and pull your thumbs to face towards your nose. And lift the elbows up to shoulder height. And again, you can hold here, just focusing on your flexibility and mobility through your arms and your legs. Or you can strengthen through the core at the same time, exhaling to curl up. Again, just breathe deeply here. The breath is an excellent tool for getting through taxing positions. Take one last breath. Exhale to release the head. Inhale to unravel the arms and legs. Then take a full body stretch, reaching the fingertips above your head and stretching the toes as far away from the fingertips as you can get them. You're being such a naughty girl. Such a naughty girl. You come and sit on this side of me away from Fred. Oh. Oh. Fred wants a saviour. Okay. From here, luckily enough, we're coming to Shavasana. From the mood of the dogs today, I'm thinking that it would be the worst case scenario in the world to try and do one. Because it really would not be relaxing for anybody. So I'm going to pop that on separately so you can peruse through a selection of Shavasanas to relax from. So grab yourself any pillows or blankets that you need to, and then when you're ready you can set yourself up to your Shavasana, our best and most relaxing and treasured pose. Going to bring your legs out long towards the bottom corners of the mat and let the feet fall naturally out to the sides. The arms come out long by the sides with the palms to the ceiling. The shoulders roll up, back and down, and you slide the shoulder blades down and together, replacing them on the mat, leaving you with a lovely open heart space. The pelvis tilts ever so slightly upwards and the chin ever so slightly downwards to give you length from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And if you do get any niggles through the lower back, you can come back to that starting position that we had with the knees bent, the feet as wide as the mat and the knees folding in to rest upon each other, which gives you a little extra space through the lower back. Then make any last minute adjustments that you need to become entirely comfortable. Then you can stay here for as long as you like, possibly listening to a separate relaxation, just taking some time to meditate on your own, or just enjoying a time of quiet. Thank you very much for joining me. Namaste.